vegetables and every other thing except for meat. She just hasn't gone about the process of reintroducing anything, which is what you're really supposed to do after any elimination diet. And I think she actually does claim to like cure stuff, which is pretty problematic.
She now does Gabrielle coaching too, as I understand it. So her limited, what worked for her, like n=1, her sample size, will now try and apply it to the public, as I understand it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Well, the beauty of eliminating everything is that it eliminates everything. So it's basically, you're literally throwing the baby out with the bathwater,
We throw a lot of babies out, Coach, on it with this podcast. 'Cause that's a frequently used analogy of my man Eric, which is.
It's one of those things like, people are good in spite of what they're doing rather than because of what they're doing.
Right.
It's
Absolutely.
it's a happy accident. Good for her. She feels better. But that doesn't mean that that's what will work for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Eric and I have been talking about a new dietary protocol that I want to run by you, and I suppose we need the backing of the scientific community. It's debatable, but I'm going to give you the proposal.
I feel like I am the scientific community, Omar.
Yeah, so you already said science already said
right
You got us.
So just
yeah,
so you know,
here.
science already said yes, but we want to hear with your limited scope what you think. We call it, so you heard of the carnivore diet, the ketogenic diet, the ethical practice of being a vegan. Cool. We want to take it one step further, and we want to be breatharians, which mean essentially that we don't consume any food, any liquid.
Yes.
Oxygen is actually the most life-preserving, as we know, and so we're just going to adhere to that. We're going to eat absolutely nothing, and yeah.
The ultimate elimination diet.
Yeah. Another funny story. There is a computer science PhD holder who has written about the dangers of glyphosate, which is found in Roundup. And I mean, just widely conflates the data, huge extrapolations. I mean, just completely like in left field.
Fear-mongering.
Yeah, absolute fear-mongering. And her articles get shared quite often. And she does do published reviews because she's a PhD holder. So I found a TEDx talk by her, just random on the internet. And TEDx even had a little disclaimer like, oh, we're reviewing the contents of this video and whatnot. She claims that humans can be charged by the sun, like solar panels.
Not like solar panels. I mean, it actually makes total sense. We all evolved from plant life.
No.
So I'm still Swamp Thing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No. It was, it's like, her explanation was that the red blood cells like rub up against the epithelial lining and then it creates a charge and then that's all we need, and that's just the sun charges us. It increases that.
Which is why everyone in London is dead.
Yes.
They're living in the underworld. We were wondering where the River Styx was, and actually it was in London.
And that's how I know that the Earth is actually flat, because the GPS data from my phone, which is false, on Instagram tells me most of my followers are in London. Since I know that we actually get energy from the sun, there's a lot of fog in London. Therefore, everyone in London is dead. Therefore, Instagram is lying. Therefore, GPS is a lie. Therefore, Earth is flat. I don't want to drop this mic because it's Danny Lemons, but I would.
Yes, yeah. That is the logical progression of the internet. Like, that's what people do. I actually went to school with a kid who was like, hey, so if reactive oxygen species are bad, shouldn't we just avoid oxygen?
Or reaction.
Yes, yeah.
One of the two.
How, like, I cannot argue with that.
It's either don't breathe or be a stoic. I don't know which one to choose.
Yeah.
But as a stoic, I'm going to think about not breathing a lot.
Now,
so I think. Are you Omar? Are you transitioning?
Oh yeah. So here's a transition to the practical, useful, applicable portion of the podcast.
That's what I was gonna do.
But we're connected in the. We might be separated by thousands of miles, but I'll never let you go. Okay.
Separated by thousands of miles in a straight line.
Yeah. If I just leave my house and start walking, eventually I'll find you.
You'll drown.
You
but you would have been getting here with a boat. Yeah.
Well, I'm counting on the sun giving me powers, much like how it gives, the son of Krypton, Superman. I don't know if you guys ever heard of a little superhero called Krypton. Anyways, I want the practical, applicable component where I want to talk about, because we've now discussed kind of the frontiers of science, pseudoscience. We've discussed some charlatans that attempt to use that lack of information, or the fact that there aren't good practitioners like yourself on the front line of discussing these things. what are some big misconceptions when it comes to gut health? What are things people should know? Like, what are some basic primers where it's like, hey, I want to sit you down. So someone that watches the news every day at 6 o'clock, they've heard a few things. That's why I was throwing out prebiotics, probiotics, good, bad for your gut. If you had to sit someone down, you're like, listen up, Skippy. I'm gonna talk to you about gut health for like 10 minutes. Here's some shit you need to know. Here's what's totally false. What would you tell someone just to set them straight? You know, you've heard of the program Scared Straight, where they attempt to scare juvenile delinquents into, adherence to the law. Same idea.
Scare us straight.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys ready to be scared?
It's like Halloween right now.
There's nothing you can do, and death is inevitable. So gut health doesn't matter.
See, she's perfect for our culture. We say that pretty much every episode. That's how we stay motivated.
All right, so that's my joke. I'm like, well, we're all gonna die anyway, but maybe we can just like wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, patience.
Yes. Okay, so I would say some of the big misconceptions. One of the top would be when people claim to be able to cure or diagnose or cure either dysbiosis or leaky gut. So because there's no specific profile of dysbiosis, and it's not technically a disease, it's not something that can be diagnosed, it's really not something that can be cured. Yes, we can maintain dietary and lifestyle habits that support a diverse microbiome, but most studies really show that these short-term interventions, whether it's a probiotic or exercise or a change in diet, really make very minor modifications to the microbiome in the short term. And it's about what you do like over a very long period of time. But like majority of the microbiome really appears to be pretty stable from about puberty until old age, and there's not a lot you can do with it. So it's kind of on your parents to set you up with something good. And so if they didn't, then you're kind of screwed. The other would be, so with leaky gut, increased intestinal permeability. I've seen it reported that, there was a change in increased intestinal permeability. So that's basically the space in between the intestinal cells. And we don't want a high level of intestinal permeability because that can allow for inflammatory compounds to leak between those cells. But sometimes papers or people will say, we decreased intestinal permeability. Oh, that sounds great. But when you actually look at the values, it's all within a normal range. So we don't get big aberrations in intestinal permeability unless we're looking at a person who has like inflammatory bowel disease like Crohn's or colitis or something. So just normal individuals are really not going to see huge increases in that. And the ways that we can measure that are pretty much all indirect, kind of expensive, and will change depending on whether we've had exercise with intensity. It can increase after a high fat meal. And again, it's not a disease state, not something that we can diagnose and then claim to cure. The other one would be sort of along the same lines, people talking about rebuilding the microbiome or being able to kill off or increase the growth of specific microbes. Yeast is one. There are the pathogenicity, the damage that any one microbe can do is context dependent upon the relative abundance. And they all play an important role. So we actually want even some of the pathogenic microbes, and we want yeast. So we can't do a candida cleanse because A, you don't want to because you need them in there, and B, there's not a way to just get rid of one microbe. They're all interacting with each other, and the things that you might do, like not eating sugar, okay, great, you're not having an additional refined sugar in your diet, that's fine, but if it goes so far that you're not eating fruits, and you're not eating vegetables, and you're not eating grains, well, now you're not feeding any of the bacteria, beneficial or not. So that's another huge myth that people really perpetuate. And then I would also say when we talk using gut health as sort of a reason why we might not be able to lose weight. There's data, and this is in rodents and in humans, that we've been able to estimate that in some cases, individuals have a microbiome that increases energy harvesting capability from the diet. So maybe instead of eating instead of digesting and absorbing all 2,000 calories that you've counted, you make it up to 2,200 calories. at the higher end. They estimate it's about 6 to 10%.
So more of the fiber is actually converted into short-chain fatty acids by the gut.
Yeah, exactly. But that doesn't mean that you can't lose weight. It just means that you have to adjust your estimates, which are just estimates anyway. So yeah, maybe the person next to you can get away with a little bit more laxity in your diet and you can't. But it doesn't completely preclude you from being able to lose weight. But people will say, oh, I have to heal my gut before I can lose weight, or I'm not like absorbing nutrients properly, and that's why I can't lose weight. And it's like, oh man, I wish
the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I could just not absorb my nutrients. That would be awesome. Let me eat all of the food. And there have been cases where dysbiosis actually prevented weight gain too. It can cause failure to thrive in children in developing countries. So that's just another sort of myth that I think gut health. There was a great quote. Kevin Hall shared it from an article, and I can't remember the name of the author, but they said that the gut microbiome has become the new conspiracy theory.
Yes.
It is a scapegoat. And yeah, I have to say that the gut microbiome is related to arguably every organ system in the human body. There's a connection there. But that doesn't mean that it is to blame for everything or that it is the solution to everything. That's just sort of what it's become right now. So I think those would be my biggest.
Yeah, it reminds me of in the physical therapy, massage, and kind of pseudo exercise world, fascia.
Yes.
You know how, because it's connected to everything and because it's used and we're learning some things about it that we didn't know before, you're able to make claims that can't be disproven. And that's the thing. We don't want to be playing the game of whack-a-mole and myth-busting so much evidence-based effectiveness that we start to talk ourselves into anything that doesn't have an evidence basis is false. Because that's just not what science does, right? And I think we've gotten into a lot of problems with that, where I think there's a lot of value in what you talked about in eating healthy, that there are issues with processed foods, that you do want to eat a lot of vegetables, where even 5 years ago, that would have triggered a lot of the quote-unquote fitness evidence-based crowd.
Yeah.
Because no, only thing that matters is macros.
Yeah.
You're orthorexic, and you're like, no, I'm just saying that vegetables have healthy functions. Nope, I'm only going to drink Gatorade, take whey protein, and it doesn't make a difference, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's really illuminating. Speaking of not playing whack-a-mole, you've told people what the myths are for lifters.